Hello, everybody. So tonight, who I'm gonna talk about is a poor girl called Shi Xiangyun, who hosted a crab feast. She couldn't afford the feast. Why did she need to be the host? She couldn't pay. She had to host. A young woman wants to throw a dinner party, not a small dinner. She wants to invite the most powerful elder in the family. She wants to serve wine, tea, fruit, and baskets of fat crabs. She wants people to sit beneath flooring, asmanthus trees, write poems, laugh, and remember the afternoon. That's one problem. She can't afford it. She has no control over the money in her own household. She lives with relatives. Her monthly allowance is tiny, and at home she works with needle and thread until 3 in the morning. So why does she still insist on being a host? Why not let someone richer invite her? Why not simply accept the meal? Why risk embarrassment? 300 years ago, dreaming of the red chamber gave an answer that still feels more radical than most modern advice about money and self-worth. Her name is Shi Xiangyun, and her crab feast is not really about food. It's about the difference between receiving help and being reduced to the help you receive. She has a great family name, but no power inside it. She is born into an aristocratic family, but a family need not the same thing as a home. A family need not the same thing as money you can use. It's a room where you are allowed to decide what happens. So later, when the girls are choosing literary names, someone suggests that she borrow the name of one of her family's prevalence. She answered, "Our family may have pavilions, but I don't live there. Bearing the name would bring me no joy." The line is devastating. She belonged to the family, but not to its space. She has a house in name, but no place she can inhabit. That's not simply poverty, it's something more modern. It's status without control. You may have a respected family, a degree, a family last name, a beautiful hometown, a wealthy parent, a community that calls you one of us, and still no access to the resources that would let you make a decision for yourself. Her wood is not, I have nothing. It's, people think I have something, but none of it is mine to use. Why does she insist on being a host? In Chinese, the phrase is 做东, to be the host. But this one simply doesn't mean paying the bill. The host is the person who creates a social world of the meal. The host invites, decides who is included, make sure no one is forgotten. The host turns food into relationship. That's why she doesn't merely want to eat crab. She wants to make a feast happen. She wants to become, for one afternoon, a person whose invitation matters. A person who can say, "Come, sit here, eat more." Send some to her, too. Don't leave anyone outside. That's the point many modern viewers miss. The opposite of dignity is not dependence. Every human being depends on someone. The opposite of dignity is being trapped forever in the role of receiver. The person who gets invited but can't invite. The person who is helped but never help. The person whose need becomes the most important thing about them. Xiangyun doesn't need a luxury dinner. She needs a right to be a giver. So her friend Baochai doesn't give her money. She changed the meaning of the event. That night, Xiangyun is planning the feast. She excited, imagine the menu, imagine the poetry topics, imagine being host. But Baochai asks a question nobody wants to ask. How are you going to pay for this? She reminds Xiangyun, you can't make decisions in your own household. Your monthly money barely covers your own needs. Your aunt will complain if you spend on something she considers unnecessary. The dream suddenly becomes humiliatingly practical. This is the important scene because Baochai doesn't rom- romanticize poverty. She doesn't say money doesn't matter. She says money matter, dependence matter, and pretending otherwise will make Xiangyun suffer more. Then Baochai does something subtle. She doesn't hand Xiangyun a person and say, "Here, poor thing." She doesn't announce to everyone, "Xiangyun can't afford this." She doesn't turn Xiangyun into a charity case. Instead, she creates a social form in which Xiangyun's wishes can still become real. Baochai says that her family already have access to excellent crafts through a worker connected to their pawn shop. She said her mother had already wanted to invite grandmother to enjoy osmanthus and crabs, so they combine the two occasions. The family can supply the crabs, wine, and fruit. Xiangyun can issue the invitation. The poetry can happen afterwards. Then Baochai says the most important line in the entire scene. "Please don't think I'm looking down on you." And Xiangyun answered, "If I didn't see you as a true sister, I would never told you the difficult thing in my life." That's not charity, it's an ethical negotiation. Baochai sees a danger. A gift can humiliate it. A fever can become a debate. Help can secretly say you're smaller than me. So she asks for Xiangyun consent before acting. And Xiangyun doesn't pretend she needs nothing. She accepts help because the relationship is strong enough to survive the truth. This is what faith really means. Western viewers often hear faith and think vanity, looking impressive, avoiding embarrassment, caring too much what other people think. But Xiangyun's story gives us more serious meaning. Faith is not simply looking successful. Faith is the social condition of not being reduced to your weakness in front of others. It's a right to remain recognizable as a full person, not merely say the poor friend, the orphan, the girl with no money, that everyone, the person everyone helps. In Chinese, this is related to 体面, a word often translated as dignity, decency, or social standing. It's not only private self-esteem. It asks, can I still stand among others without being made smaller? So Baochai's help works because Xiangyun is not erased. At the feast, Grandma praised how carefully everything has been arranged. Xiangyun doesn't lie. She said, "Sister Baochai helped me prepare it." This is the entire moral beauty of the scene. She accepted help publicly, but she's still the host. The event is still her desire. The guests can come because she invited them. She doesn't have to perform fake independence. She doesn't have to pretend that nobody helped. Her dignity survived because help doesn't erase her authorship. The fist show what Xiangyun really wants. The crab arrive. Xiangyun doesn't sit in the center, enjoying proof that she has finally become important. She gets up. She sends two plates to Zhao and she asks others to set table for the senior mates. She tells people on the hillside to eat as much as they want. This is the real revelation. Xiangyun wants to help not because she wanted to look rich. She wanted to distribute joy. She knows what it feels like to be dependent. So the first thing she does once she has the power to host is widen the circle. She makes sure people lower in the household are fed, not equal. The household is still deeply unequal. The servants still work. The seating still reflects rank. The feast doesn't become a revelation. But Xiangyun's instinct is clear. She doesn't use temporary power to make herself bigger. She used to make the table bigger. That's why she's one of the most beautiful person in the novel. Her answer to insecurity is not hoarding. It's hospitality. The most important four words. She drifted off for a moment. In the middle of the feast, the novel says Xiangyun drifted off for a moment. Then she returns. She invites people to eat. She speaks to servants. She smiles. The novel doesn't explain what she's thinking. and it shouldn't, because they're feeling too complicated to explain without making them smaller. Maybe she feel proud or grateful. She feel the strange embarrassment hosting with resources she didn't possess. Maybe she remembers the house where she can make decision. Maybe she simply sees for one distance the distance between beautiful afternoon and the difficult life waiting for her outside the garden. We don't know, but we can recognize the feeling. It's a feeling of sitting at a table you helped create and knowing how much love, luck, money, labor, and invisible generosity had together in one place for you to be here. This is not shame, it's awareness, and awareness why Shang Joy never feels shallow. She laughs loudly because she had known what it is to be unable to love. She gave freely because she knows what it is to have no power to give. The crab feast reveals the truth about all wills. Xiangyun looks dependent because Baochai's help is visible, but are the other hosts really independent? Who own the crabs? Who grow the food? Who carry the trays? Who light the fires? Who serve the elder? Who prepare the pavilion before anybody arrived? Every feast is supported by other people. Every beautiful social event is collective. The wealthy host often appears independent only because the dependence is hidden. Inherited money, family property, servants, workers, land, unpaid care. Showing dependence is not unusual, it's simply visible. That's what creates sting. The crab feast asks a question that reaches far beyond China. Why do we admire people who hide the help behind them, but pity people whose help is visible? Xiangyun's fist gives a different answer. No one hosts alone. The real question is whether the help behind a beautiful world turn people into visible tools or allow them to remain participants in one another's lives. Why this belong in a grand view garden? The garden itself is a paradise built to its power. The girl doesn't own the line. They don't control the family fortune. They don't decide the rules that will eventually destroy their world. And yet inside it, they create poems, friendship, names, rituals, and memories that are real. Xiangyun crab faces the garden in miniature. The money is not hers, crabs are not hers, privilege not hers, labor is not hers, but invitation is hers, joy is hers, the desire to include people is hers. That doesn't make the feast fake, it makes it human. We often think that something only counts if we only complete it, but most of beautiful things in life are borrowed. A friendship, a city, a family meal, a room that we didn't pay for, a season we can't keep. The question is not, do I own this? The question is, while I'm here, can I make this place more generous than it was before? That's Xiangyun's answer. She couldn't afford the feast, but she was not asking for permission to pretend she was rich. She was asking for something more important: the right to be a giver, the right to call people together, the right to make others feel included, the right to participate in beauty not only as someone invited, but as someone who creates the invitation. That's why the story matters now. Dignity not never needing help. Dignity receiving help without being turned into a public example of need. Dignity is being able to say, yes, someone helped me, and I'm still here. And I still have something to give. Xiangyun didn't buy the crabs, but she made everyone eat. She did not own the garden, but for one afternoon, she made it feel like home. The opposite of dignity is not dependence, it's being denied the right to give. That's it for today. Thank you so much.